Today we're going to look at lines 12, 13, and 14, which complete our next section, and then the start of the section after that, 15. If you recall from 12 that this is a continuation of the thought from the previous page, didn't quite fit, should have been paying more attention when I organized all this, but what can you do? Line 11 said, and if you recall, and nevertheless, or and still, and yet, there are not three eternals, but one eternal. And now with verse 12, this thing that I only vaguely ever reference, sicut non tres increati nec tres immensi, sed unus increatus et unus immensus, similiter omnipotens pater, omnipotens filius, omnipotens spiritus sanctus, et tamen non tres omnipotentes, sed unus omnipotens. Ita Deus Pater, Deus Filius, Deus Spiritus Sanctus. And that's as far as we're going to make it today. I don't know why I clicked my pen again right there. But the word sicut means just as. And it's a sort of adverbial particle thing that I'll put in the notes. Non tres increati. Again, we don't have the verb of being. This is very common in Latin, especially in Pliny and apparently the Athanasian Creed. So we would assume form of est, or in this case, sunt, again and again. Increati has that long I right there, and tres we've seen before. Don't need to parse it, but this one is nominative, plural, and masculine. Just as there are not three. I should probably stay consistent. Three uncreated nec nor then we start the next one. But unus, seen that before, increatus, of course, a nominative singular. And that ends line 11. I guess we could almost call it verse 11, though this is not quite like the verse of the Bible. I'm not sure what the appropriate terminology is. Moving on to 13. Similiter. This is actually, I think, the first time in quite the while that we run into anything like this. If you've been going and watching the Vulgate videos like you really should. Iter is a... It's not really a suffix. It's a ending that we put onto third declension adjectives, and it changes them from their adjectival form into the adverbial form. So this would normally make us add the words ly in English or something along those lines. So this is from similis, simile, similitur, therefore, as the adverb of similis. Returning from our technical difficulties there, as we take a look at omnipotens, we see our ENS ending with pater. This, of course, is a nominative, singular, masculine, not like we should expect anything else. But from this is from potens, potentis, which is ultimately from the verb possum, posse, potui, and the participle for that one is potens, which is the exact same thing right there. This is also just a common adjective that we see in the Bible, and well, I guess not too common in the Bible, but elsewhere. You get the idea. Similarly, the Father, or technically, all able, all being able would be another way of translating this. Now moving on to 14, and nevertheless, still, yet, not three. And note that we now have the omnipotentes, which is our normal change in the present active participle, or just the adjectives that follow this same format, like parens, parentes. Technically that is from a participle, but the participle is relatively not the participle, but the verb is relatively rare in more recent Latin. Recent Latin. How silly. And that ends this section. So now we move on to 15 and we see ita. Ita is a word that just means thus. It is often used with a result clause. No verb again, so it one more time and probably many more times in the Athanasian Creed have to assume est or sunt in there. Since these are all singular, we should assume singular forms. Therefore, est Deus Pater, est Deus Filius, est Deus Spiritus Sanctus. And I've just now realized that I'm capitalizing these, but I'm not capitalizing the one in the middle. That is an error. If one is capitalized, all three should equally be capitalized. I'll fix that on the previous pages. Well, there we have it. Thank you very much for joining me as we take a look at this. Farewell.
What? You're still awake? Why are you still here then? You should be reading a book. Or if not reading, you should watch one of these other videos. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. See you next week.